Hi, I am Eric from schooldecision.com by Formative Spaces. Schooldecision.com helps families, educators, and communities understand schools and districts through source-backed profiles, district reports, performance data, program context, athletics and activity coverage, and clear comparisons that separate official data from interpretation. The platform combines public education data, local context, and transparent research methods to make school decisions more factual, navigable, and useful. I started this organization because I felt that the incumbent school review sites were overly focused on providing questionable letter or number ratings for schools, instead of just providing the facts and letting parents choose whether a school is the best fit for their children. This wasn't solely our sentiment. Many researchers, academics, and others felt the same. We merely acted on it. In this podcast, we explore communities, traditional public school districts, innovators and disruptors in education, and in the weeks to come, we'll get to charter schools, private schools, and international schools. Our site includes deep research on schools and their impact on real estate, so that families can find the best schools and communities in their children's formative years. Today, I want to look at Acton Academy. Acton is one of the most interesting alternative school models in the country. It is also one of the easiest to misunderstand. At a glance, Acton can sound like a private school network. It has a national brand. It has a recognizable philosophy. It has hundreds of campuses. It has founder stories, parent testimonials, and a language of independence, mastery, entrepreneurship, and purpose. But Acton is not one centrally managed school system that matters. Acton says it has more than 300 campuses in 30 countries and 42 US states. It also says each campus is independently owned and operated by parent entrepreneurs. So when a parent says, "I'm thinking about Acton," the first answer should be, which Acton? The brand is national, the education is local. That distinction changes the whole conversation. The Acton model is not a small change to traditional school. It is a different theory of schooling. Children are not supposed to sit in rows while an adult delivers the curriculum. They work in mixed-age studios. They use self-paced tools for core academic skills. They take part in Socratic discussions. They work on projects called quests. They earn badges. They exhibit their work. They create contracts with peers. They learn in a culture where the guide is not supposed to function like a conventional teacher. The adult is called a guide for a reason. Acton is explicit about this. The guide asks questions. The guide protects the culture. The guide helps set the conditions for learning. The guide is not there to lecture all day, solve every problem, rescue the child, or run the room like a traditional classroom. For some families, this is the appeal. For other families, this is the warning label. If you want your child in a school where adults give direct instruction, assign work, grade it, track every step, and keep the class moving together, Acton may feel unfamiliar. If you want your child to learn how to manage time, set goals, struggle through hard things, work with peers, and take more responsibility for the day, Acton may sound very attractive. The question is whether it works. That is where the public record gets less satisfying. Acton and Acton-aligned sources have made large academic claims. Some materials report students gaining 2.5 to 3.5 grade levels in a single year. Other profiles say Acton students have tested years ahead of traditional school peers. If those claims are representative, they would be a major education finding. The problem is that the public evidence is not strong enough to treat those claims as settled. I did not find a public, independent, network-wide study showing that Acton students outperform similar students in traditional public or private schools. I did not find a matched comparison study. I did not find a public Acton network report with test names, sample sizes, participation rates, baseline scores, attrition, demographic breakdowns, campus ranges, and student-level growth data. I did not find a serious transfer-out study showing how Acton students do when they leave for traditional schools. That is a major gap. It does not mean Acton is weak. It does mean the strongest claims are underproven. This is the part parents should take seriously. A school can have a good theory and still lack proof. A school can have strong internal outcomes and still fail to show whether those outcomes hold across campuses, across student types, or over time. A school can work beautifully for one child and poorly for another. Acton is exactly the kind of model where that risk matters. The model depends heavily on fit. A child who is curious, self-directed, socially adaptive, and ready to manage more freedom may thrive. A child who is bored by traditional school may move faster. A child who wants to build, create, read, discuss, and try things may find the school more alive than a conventional classroom, but a child can also drift. A child can spend too much time in online tools without deep understanding. A child can hide weak writing behind projects. A child can become socially overwhelmed by peer accountability. A child who needs explicit instruction may not get enough of it. A child who later transfers into a traditional school may face transcript or adjustment problems. That is not a theoretical concern. It follows directly from the model. Traditional schools have their own problems. They can be rigid, slow, bureaucratic, grade-driven, and poorly matched to individual students. But they produce public data, they have standardized systems, they have state tests, attendance records, graduation rates, course catalogs, credit systems, and rules that make transfer easier. Acton gives families more freedom. It also gives families less public comparability. That is the trade. The founder story is one of Acton's strengths. Acton was founded in Austin in 2009 by Jeff and Laura Sandifer. Jeff Sandifer has a serious entrepreneurship and business school teaching background. He founded companies including Sandifer Capital Partners and has been recognized for teaching entrepreneurship. Laura Sandifer has an education background and wrote Courage to Grow, the book that tells Acton's origin story. The school did not come out of nowhere. It came from people with a strong worldview and a clear idea of what they wanted children to become. That idea is visible in almost every part of Acton. The school wants children to become independent, responsible, self-directed, resilient, and ready for real work. It talks about the hero's journey, calling, freedom, responsibility, mastery, and failure. These are not decorative words. They are part of the operating culture. That culture will appeal to some families immediately. It will also repel some families, and that is fine. The question is not whether every parent should like Acton. The question is whether parents understand what they are buying. They are buying a school model that trusts the child more than traditional school usually does. They are also buying a school model that depends more on the child, the guide, the peer group, and the local campus. The local campus is the part I would keep coming back to. A parent is not choosing Acton Academy in the abstract. A parent is choosing a particular Acton with particular guides, particular children, a particular founder, a particular facility, a particular tuition level, particular worldview, and a particular legal status. Some campuses may be excellent, some may not be. The Acton name does not solve that problem. This is especially true because Acton is designed to scale through parent entrepreneurs that can create energy and local ownership. It can also create variance. The same model can be implemented better or worse depending on who runs the school. The campus map itself tells a story. Acton has clear strength in places like Texas, Florida, California, Utah, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Canada, Latin America, India, and parts of Europe. In the United States, many campuses appear in suburbs, exurbs, growth markets, school choice states, and places with professional class families who are open to non-traditional education. This distribution is not random. Acton grows where there is enough parent demand, enough tuition capacity or scholarship support, enough dissatisfaction with conventional schools, and enough founder supply. Texas has a large cluster, Florida has a large cluster, Utah has a visible cluster, California has a cluster. New York appears much thinner by comparison, which likely reflects cost, regulation, real estate, and less broad public funding for private alternatives. So the campus locations give us useful information. They suggest that Acton is not simply a school model, it is a parent movement. It appears where parents have the money, flexibility, policy environment, or frustration to try something different. That has implications for the evidence. If a school draws families who are already highly engaged, already willing to pay tuition, already willing to leave the traditional system, and already comfortable with self-directed learning, then strong outcomes may reflect both the school and the population. That does not make the school bad. It makes simple comparisons unreliable. This is why I am skeptical of broad claims that Acton students outperform traditional school students. Some probably do, some may perform at parity, some may fall behind or leave. Without better public data, we cannot see the distribution. The demographic data we do have is limited. Federal private school records, made easier to access through ProPublica's tool, show that some Acton-related campuses are very different from nearby public districts. The original Acton Academy in Austin reported 69 students in 2017 to 2018. The student body was more than 80% white and nearly 12% Asian, with very low Hispanic enrollment. Ascent, another Acton Academy in Austin, reported 55 students in 2021 to 2022. It was more than 85% white, about 11% Asian, and 0% Hispanic, while Austin ISD was majority Hispanic. Those are only examples. They do not describe the whole network. Other Acton campuses may be more mixed. Some are in different regions, some serve different communities. But the examples are enough to say this. Acton campuses can look very different from the public systems around them. Income is harder to measure. Private school files do not give us the same economic data we get from public schools. Tuition is the proxy. Many Acton campuses appear to charge around $10,000 to $15,000 per year. Some are lower. Some families use scholarships. In states like Florida, public scholarship programs can lower the cost dramatically. Without those programs, Acton is usually a middle income to upper income product, or a product for families willing to make a serious financial sacrifice. Religion is also local. Some Acton campuses are non-sectarian, some are explicitly Christian, some use Christian or Western civilization language. Others are open to religious and non-religious families. The national brand does not answer the local religion question. What it does show is a strong values framework. Acton is not value neutral. It wants children to become a certain kind of person, independent, responsible, self-governing, entrepreneurial, and able to build a life without waiting for permission. That is one of the more interesting things about Acton. It is not trying to win by having a nicer brochure. It is making a different bet about childhood. Traditional school often assumes children need adults to direct most of the learning. Acton assumes children can own much more of it if the environment is built correctly. I understand the appeal of that. There is something weak in the way many schools treat children as passive. There is something strange about telling students for 12 or 13 years to follow directions, then expecting them to become independent adults. Acton sees that contradiction and tries to solve it, but the solution is only as good as the outcomes. If Acton produces independent students who are also strong readers, strong writers, strong in math, capable in science, socially mature, and able to transfer or enter college without friction, then the model deserves serious respect. If Acton produces independence at the expense of academic gaps, or works mainly for students who would have done well almost anywhere, then the story is different. Right now, the public evidence cannot settle that question. The broader microschool research is cautious. Rand says microschool academic impacts have not yet been rigorously evaluated. In a later study, Rand tried to use existing achievement data to estimate effects, and found that comparable data was so limited that less than 0.1% of U.S. microschools could be studied. The small sample showed negligible academic growth effects. That is not a verdict on Acton, it is a warning about the evidence base. The sector is growing faster than the data. The National Microschooling Center's 2025 sector report gives a fuller picture of the movement. It says many microschools use portfolios, observation, mastery tracking, and embedded assessments rather than traditional grades. It also says 74% of microschools have tuition and fees at or below $10,000, and 65% use discounts or sliding scales. The report says many microschools serve students with neurodiversities, students who are behind grade level, or students who experience trauma. That matters because microschooling is a boutique private school market in some places and a response to school mismatch in others. Acton likely includes both stories, affluent parent choice in some markets and rescue or fit-driven choice in others. That is why a simple conclusion would be wrong. Acton is not a scam. It is not a miracle. It is not a proven replacement for traditional schooling. It is a serious school model with a strong theory, real parent demand, credible founders, incomplete public evidence, and likely wide variation by campus. My read is that Acton belongs in the school choice conversation. It also deserves harder questions than many profiles give it. The network should publish better data, not a marketing page, not a few strong stories, a real outcomes report, enrollment, retention, attrition, student demographics, prior school type, standardized growth, participation rates, campus level ranges, transfer outcomes, high school completion, college enrollment, apprenticeships, and parent satisfaction, separate students who attend for 1 year from students who stay for 5, separate students who enter behind from students who enter ahead, show the range rather than only the average. If Acton is producing the outcomes its strongest supporters believe, that report would help the movement. If it is not, parents deserve to know that too. For now, the best parent answer is this. Acton is a serious but high variance option. It may be a very good fit for a child who can handle freedom, wants agency, works well with peers, and needs a school that treats learning as something the child owns. It may be a poor fit for a child who needs direct instruction, close adult structure, significant special education support, or the predictability of a conventional classroom. The campus matters, the guide matters, the peer culture matters, the child's temperament matters, the family's own belief in the model matters. That is the school decision lens. We are not interested in reducing schools to a number. We are interested in helping parents see what is actually there. In Acton's case, what is there is both promising and underproven. It is an ambitious model with real appeal, but it has not publicly shown enough evidence to be treated as academically superior to traditional schooling. Parents should not reject it because it is different. They also should not accept it because it sounds inspiring. They should look at the local campus, the actual outcomes, the staff, the student work, the transcripts, the tuition, the legal status, the student fit, and the evidence behind the claims. That is what school choice should mean. Not choosing the most familiar option, not choosing the most fashionable option, choosing with clear eyes. We hope that this helped you make school decisions that are more factual, more useful, and more honest for families. Acton Academy is exactly the kind of model that deserves that treatment. Serious enough to study, different enough to explore, and important enough that parents should understand it before they choose it.